Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Shiv. Hello, if you're coming back then welcome. In today's video I'm filming this look for you right here and I'm going to be testing out the Friends Revolution Door Palette, which looks like this on the inside. You've got some really beautiful tones and this is what I created. So if you'd like to see how I got this look then please carry on watching. Before you do, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I upload a new video. I would really appreciate it. Follow me on my social media channels. I'm shivonmakeupbiz on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I did that in a really weird order, but go check that out if you so please. And if you would like to see how I got this look and how I got on with the palette, then please carry on watching. Okay, so I've realised in a lot of my review videos I tend to kind of forget to mention the price. Even though you can of course go online and find out the price, I do think it's important to mention it in this video so you can kind of put the price, the quality together and then make your mind up if you think it's worth it or not. So this palette right here retails for £20 UK and you get 21 shades in the palette, plus it does come with a mirror on the inside of the palette, which is a good quality mirror. It's not one of the ones that makes your face look deformed. So yeah, this is what the palette looks like. There's some really beautiful shades, some warm tones in there, some cool tones, the silver, doobie spot, we'll get into that later. I have some thoughts on the cool tones which may surprise you if you are a watcher of my channel. But yeah, it's got some really beautiful shades in it. I'm obviously naturally drawn to the pinks and purples. They are just my kind of tones. I absolutely love wearing them. I feel most confident in pink and purple shadows. I just feel like they brighten up my eyes and bring out the green. So yeah, but I do think you can definitely do some neutral looks with this palette. You've got tons of different neutral shades if you really just kind of take your eye away from the bright pink here and here and here. Actually a pretty neutral toned palette with just pops of colour, so it is a lot of fun. And I do like the fact that there is a decent amount of mattes and then shimmers, because sometimes I feel like when palettes put in too many shimmers and not enough mattes, there's only so much you can do. And then if they put in like all mattes and like, camera cut me off, that was rude. And then I feel like if they put in all mattes and one shimmer, there's only really a few amount of looks that you'll kind of naturally do if you're not someone who does like crazy cut creases all the time. So yeah, I do think that's a really good selection of shadows. I do have a few constructive criticism feedback to give. I don't think it takes away from the quality of the eyeshadows themselves, which are obviously the most important thing, but packaging wise I don't think it needs to be this big. It's obviously quite difficult to store because of the little hinge things. They do kind of add a little extra height to the palette itself. It's a kind of an interesting shape, which is fun. It's supposed to be like the door from Friends, but I don't think also it needs to be this big on the sides. If you see, there's quite a big gap in between the shadows and the outside of the palette, and I just feel like they could have reduced that a little bit. Also on the side here, I don't know if you can see the foam, which I guess is to protect the shadows and the mirror themselves, but I feel like they could have covered that up with something because I wouldn't have known it was there. But I know it's there and now it's kind of bothering me because I keep like sticking my finger into the foam. That's just a few bits of feedback, but I'm really glad it comes with a mirror, and I do really like the fact that you can swing it all the way around. So obviously that's the kind of back with the info and then the front of the palette. So you have the mirror on one side and then the shadows on the other, and then it closes, which is quite cool because obviously it opens like a door, and obviously you have the Friends Revolution thing on the front. I think this is a really awesome gift if you know someone who loves Friends and makeup. Shadows wise, you'll see throughout the video, but yeah, that's kind of a quick overview of the palette. I love reviewing Revolution palette videos here on my channel. I haven't done a single paid sponsored video on my channel, however majority of these products are from PR because I am on Revolution's PR list, which is amazing and I think they are such a cool company. But all opinions are my own as per usual. If you want to go ahead and check out other Revolution reviews, I'll link them down in the description box below because I have reviewed a ton of their eyeshadow palettes. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump straight into the tutorial. So the first shade that I'm going to take is this burgundy pinky shade here called Frank Junior, and I'm going to pop that into the crease of my eye going all the way through to the inner corner. I'm actually going to take the kind of pinky shades and the silver. For some reason I was really drawn to the silver colour. I never usually am because I'm not a big fan of cool tones, but we're going to give it a go and let's see what happens. So I'm going to take this shade right here and pop it all the way through the crease right the way to the inner corner, and I'm going to take that on a Peaches Makeup PC38. I did forget to mention that I have have obviously popped a piece of tape on the outer edge of both eyes, primed my lid with my P. Louise base as per usual, just because it is my go-to, and I've done my brows with the Revolution soap brows. I would kind of do it on camera, but this is actually really disgusting at the moment because I've used it so much. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to start with my right eye. Okay, so I've loaded up my brush with the product, and I'm just going to start by kind of tapping that on the outer edge of the eye using the tape as a guide, and then just pushing that into the crease. Not too high because I'm going to plan on blending this out. So far so good. Nice pigment. It's definitely a lot more pink on the eye than purple, but I really like this colour. It's like a really deep purpley pink. And then once that's on there, I'm just going to go over the top of it just to smooth out the colour and make sure it's nice and intense. Okay, and then the next shade that I'm going to take is this one right here, which is called The List, which is like a soft kind of muted pink. My colour description isn't going very well. I wonder if there's a description on the website. Okay, no there's not. But I'm taking this shade here to blend out that kind of raspberry pink colour. And I'm going to take it on a Peaches Makeup PC 22 brush, which is like a kind of big fluffy pencil brush. And I'm going to use that to blend out this colour all the way through to that inner corner. So as you can see, I'm just kind of tapping over the edges of the raspberry shade, and then once I've got that really packed on there, I'll then go back in with the raspberry shade to blend them together. Now I'm going to go back in with Frank Jr. and just redefine the crease, and then also just build that into the pink colour in little kind of circular motions. These colours are blending nicely into each other. I'm pleased with my colour pick. I'm just going over a little bit with the shade The List, just to tie those two colours together. I'm really happy with that. It's nice and vibrant. And then to finish off like the blending part of this look, I'm going to take the shade I'm Fine, which I feel like summarises my life for the past year and a half, which is this one right here, this light peachy pink colour. Obviously, if you do watch Friends, you will get all of these like shade names. I feel like I relate most to this one. Let me know down below if you understand what I'm saying. Oh, my lights are flickering at me. I think I need to get new lights. Okay, I'm going to take that on a Morphe M5 6.2 brush, and I'm going to use that to blend out the very kind of edges of this shadow so far. So I've just got a little bit on there, and then I'm tapped off the excess. I'm just going to start blending out the edges. I really like this blend. It's just like a nice like sunset kind of vibe. If I put a dark purple on that lid, that would be a perfect like sunset look, but I'm not going to do that today. What I might do in the future. I really like that those shadows went on so nicely. Yeah, big thumbs up so far. I'm now going to cut the crease. I don't know why that was so dramatic, but I'm going to take a cotton bud and some micellar water, just my usual trick, and I'm going to do I feel like kind of like a half cut crease. So I'm going to take it to about kind of just over halfway and remove that shadow just there with some micellar water. I feel like I just repeated myself like 3 times just then. I don't know what's happening. When I reach 10,000 subscribers, which is a really big goal of mine, I will invest in a new camera because, as you can see, out of focus, it's really annoying, and I can't really tell too much on the viewfinder if I'm out of focus or not, and I've tried using it with my laptop and everything, and it's just a pain. My life would be so much easier when filming if I could do this and it was in focus, but it doesn't. So things will change in the future, I promise. Right, okay, I'm just cutting the crease, pulling that into the socket, just makes so much more lid space. It's great, especially if you have hooded eyes as well. Like, my eyes aren't that hooded, but they are a little bit hooded, and I feel like a lot of people will say to me, I have hooded eyes, I can't do like big crazy makeup looks. You definitely can. It's just the power of illusion and creating more space on your eye. And don't be afraid to take your eyeshadow right up to your brow bone, people. Makeup is art. I'm going on a speech when I'm cutting my crease. Kind of rhymed. Okay, and now I'm just going to fill in that blank space with my P. Louise base and I held that upside down, didn't I? And a synthetic brush. Now I've got the primer down, I'm just going to take Frank Junior down again and just tap this over the edges of the shadow. It will just kind of speed up the process later on. So as you can see, I'm just kind of dragging that in towards the lid. I'm going for kind of like a half cut crease, so I'm just packing in that outer area, just like so. Right, I'm just going to spritz a flat shader brush with some setting spray. I'm using the Revolution Conceal and Define one. Any setting spray will do. Just to pick up the shimmer more. I want it to be super sparkly. I'm going to take the shade Big White Dog, which is this silver shade I referenced earlier. And I'm going to pat it all up in that blank space on the lid for a super sparkly look. I've actually done silver and pink before, you know. It's a whole new combination for me, guys. That is actually such a pretty silver. I feel like I need to stop being so scared of cool tones. What do we think? Listen, if you like silver shadows, you will love this silver. It's so reflective and beautiful. I am now just going to dip into Frank Junior again and just literally just like feather over the edge where the silver meets, just so it almost like, I want to say dissipates, but I don't know if that's the right word, like kind of merges back into the burgundy shade. I'm literally just tapping over the edge. It doesn't have to be neat whatsoever. Just like that. So there's literally still a half cut crease, but there's just a little bit of merging going on. My eyes are starting to become a bit like itchy from the tape. There's like an eyelash like poking into my eye. So we're going to do this fairly quick. I'm going to pop on a wing liner using my favourite liner ever, which happens to be from Revolution. I talk about this all the time if you are like a subscriber and a watcher of my videos. This is the Revolution Renaissance liner. You need this in your life. It's just such a good felt liner pen. So I'm going to pop on a wing just using the tape as a guide. So that light that was flickering, that blew again. If you watched my previous video, my light blew halfway through the video. I have now taken the plunge and ordered new studio lights, which will arrive for filming my next video, so look out for that, guys. I've turned up the exposure. It seems to be okay for like the zoomed in shots, but far away you can kind of tell the lighting's a bit funny. We're getting there. Okay, so I'm now going to pop on some lashes. I'm popping on the Revolution Wispy lashes just because, I mean, I like these lashes, but they are the only Revolution pair I have and I like to be cohesive with my reviews. So I'm going to go ahead, pop these on, and we'll be right back to do the face. Okay, my lashes are now on. I'm now going to pop on a serum. This is the XX Revolution Pink Elixir moisturizing serum, which is super beautiful. It's like pink and sparkly. I'm going to pop this all over the skin. I'm actually going to pop it on with a brush just because I feel like it. This is the Peaches Makeup PC16 brush. Feels super refreshing popping on primer with a brush. I don't know what it is, I just love it, but this serum feels really nice with the skin. It's definitely added a little bit of a sheen. For foundation, I'm going to take a mixture of the F6.5 and the F7 matte base foundation on my Spicy Choco sponge and just bounce this into the skin. Now I'm going to pop on some concealer. I'm taking the Revolution Eye Bright Concealer in the shade Light. Got a little cut on my nose, just cover that up. Okay, and then I'm going to blend it out with the same sponge. Now I'm going to do some light cream bronzing with the Revolution Pro Under Eye Concealer in the shade C12. I'm just going to pop this on the cheekbones, a little bit on the top of my forehead, and then I will blend it out with my favourite brush for cream contour bronzer, which is the Zoeva 110 Face Shape brush. I'm going to pop that top of the forehead. Going to blend that out a little bit with my sponge, just kind of go over the top of it. Then I'm going to set this into place with the Revolution translucent powder, which I've not tried before, so I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm getting this powder everywhere. It's really nice. It's definitely not a coverage powder like it is a translucent powder, but it is setting the makeup well. It's not like making it go patchy or anything. I don't know if there's like an easy way to do this because the cap is so small. I've just set my face, just as a heads up, because I'm filming a TikTok video for the new Makeup Revolution competition. I will link my entry down below. I'd really appreciate it if you made it this far throughout the video to go over to that video and like give it a like or something, try and boost it up their algorithm. It's a really big competition. If you are entering yourself, good luck as well. I'm gonna go ahead and like spam through the hashtag Creative Revolution on TikTok and like a bunch of entries as well, but I think it's a really cool competition. So yeah, just as a heads up, I have put a little bit of setting spray on. I know it's a weird step, but I just went with the video. You'll see what I mean when you watch it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add on a little bit of bronzer. This one is super pigmented. I've used this a handful of times. By a handful, I actually mean quite a lot. This is the Mega Bronzer in the shade 02 Warm. I'm just going to dust this around the outer perimeters of the face with a Real Techniques blush brush. This is a super pigmented bronzer, so I'm going to go in with a very light hand, and then also just on the back of my hand just to get rid of like the excess. And then here we go. I like taking my bronzer just like across the nose a little bit, just feel like it adds a glow. Bronzer is actually so nice. You just need a very light tan and a big fluffy brush. Moving on to blush, I'm going to take my favourite Revolution blush, which is the Rhubarb and Custard one right here, and just pop this onto my cheeks. I'm using a Sigma Spotlight Duster brush, which is a really fluffy long brush. I'm just going to pop it on the kind of higher parts of my cheeks rather than down here. Such a pretty blush. I feel like I'm very happy that blush is like back in, because people weren't really using it for ages, and it just makes so much difference to your whole makeup look. And I find that blush kind of disappears throughout the day, so I do tend to go quite heavy-handed with it. Not that I'm going anywhere, but you know what I mean. I'm now going to reset the face just because I like that slightly tacky base for when I put on my highlighter. And I'm taking the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Setting Spray. For highlight, I'm going to take the Revolution, I think it's the Crystal collection, it's the one with the rhinestones on top of it. I have recently put this in a review video, I'll also link that down below, and I really like this highlighter. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that onto my cheek with a fluffy brush and the tip of my nose, just because it's a habit and I like the way it looks. I'm just going to pop a teeny little bit of mascara on my lower lashes. Now for lips, I'm going to take the Heart Race lip liner from Revolution. It's like a pinky colour. I'm going to use this to line my lips, obviously. Now I'm going to take a lipstick, which is actually one of my favourites from Revolution. This is in collaboration with Soph. I'll link her channel down below. This is in the shade Cake. It's like a pinky nude. I'm going to go ahead and pop this on, and it looks like this. It's very well loved, so it probably looks a little bit gross up close. I really like this lipstick because it's got this nice shine that you'd get in a lip gloss, but the longevity of a lipstick. It's really nice, and it's super moisturising, especially if you're someone that's kind of prone to dry lips like me, so love this lipstick. See, I'm getting confused, it's so shiny. So this is the finished makeup look using the Revolution Friends Door palette, which retails for, because I always forget to include this in my reviews, I'm very sorry. This is £20 and you get, I can't bother to count them, so how many shades? 21 shades in this palette. If you just want a reminder, this is what it looks like. So you open it up, there's a mirror on the inside, which is cool. It does fold all the way around, which I actually really appreciate because you can kind of hold it almost like an easel. But this is what the palette looks like on the inside if you just kind of wanted a reminder. So you have some super pretty tones. This is definitely a palette that, like, tones wise I would reach for. Personally, I will say, just because of the size of the palette, like, it is a really big palette, I feel like they could have reduced the size down a little bit, which would have made it a little bit more friendly for ease of use. Like, even if they just cut it in like a few centimeters, I don't know, I just feel like it could have been a little bit smaller. But other than that, the shadows are the most important thing and they performed beautifully, and I feel like that silver shade on the lid just speaks for itself. It's so stunning, and all of the matte shades didn't have a single problem with, they perform beautifully. So yeah, this palette is definitely a recommendation. I think it would be a really good gift if you have someone that you know in your life that's into makeup and friends. This would be like the perfect palette, and the shade names are so funny. You've got Dr. Drake Ramore, you've got I'm Fine, which is personally my favourite. You have the one where I take the Rachel. So if you are a Friends fan, then you'll definitely love this collection. Just packaging wise, I feel like it could have been a little bit smaller, just for ease of use. And it also has this foam bit on the inside here, which I guess is probably to protect the palette itself, but they could have maybe covered this up or something, because if the foam was covered up I wouldn't have known really that it was there. But it's just kind of bugging me because you can feel the inside of the foam, but it's not like a thing to put down the palette, it's just something to note, just to be honest with you. And I do think the fact that it has these little rings on the outside is quite unique and fun. And of course this is a fun eyeshadow palette. It's not like a luxurious, expensive looking palette. It's something to be fun, and yeah, I really like it. I think I definitely will reach for this again. I kind of want to try this shade here. I take the Rachel, the pinky colour. This cool tone purple looks fun. What's happening with me in the cool tones? I got a new identity. I'm just kind of enjoying them at the moment. But yeah, I think this palette is gorgeous, and it's definitely something that I would reach for tones wise. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. And it retails for £20. Sometimes I do put the kind of collection style products on sale, so definitely keep an eye out for that, but it will be linked down the description box below. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. All the products will be linked in the description box down below if you are interested. They are affiliate links, so I can earn a very small commission off of the sale, but you don't have to use the links if you don't want to. They are just there if you want to use them. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and seeing me create this look right here. I definitely feel like I need to kind of adventure a little bit more and try some cool tones, because I'm not hating this look. Maybe I just need to mix them into like warmer or tones or like brighter toned looks and I'll like them. Let me know your thoughts on that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, please give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't already. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I upload a new video. I'd really appreciate it. Follow me on my social media pages. I'm shivonmakeupbiz on everything: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. Twitter, I basically just retweet a bunch of stuff, astrology things, bits and bobs. Facebook, I post videos, and sometimes I'll do Facebook exclusive videos with voiceovers. Instagram, obviously I'm very active, we all know what Instagram's about, and TikTok, I just have a lot of fun on that app. So come join the fun, and thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time. Bye.